as
Mm.
some of you know, I've been doing a lot of research on the Liberty Cap. Done some presentations, done a number of articles. In fact, Doug has been nice enough. I've twisted his arm. He's proofread some of those articles. And during that research, one of the things that I found really puzzling is almost every country, from the French Revolution on, has portrayed the Liberty Cap in the same way, as in the Phrygian style. I did a presentation, I don't know, a few months back here, except Holland. I mean, you've got it in Latin America countries, you've got it in throughout Europe, Caribbean, but in Holland, it's been portrayed differently. And so I was intrigued by that. And so I've been doing research, kind of going down that rabbit hole and acquiring a few items in relation to that, building either a presentation or an article. What you see on the screen is a 1782 Friesland, which is a province of the Netherlands, recognizing the United States. And you can see up here their version, they call it the Freedom Hat, but their style of the Liberty Cap. Um, this particular medal was instigated by John Adams, who was, after France, he spent 2 years in the Netherlands as a emissary for the U.S. prior to his, being the president. Um, And this was the culmination of his work, getting the Netherlands to release about 6 medals recognizing the U.S. in addition to getting a loan for the U.S. Um, the woman on the left here is representative of the United States. She's the Dutch impression of what an Indian princess would look like. On the shield, it says the United States of North America. The central figure, who is considered in a warrior outfit, is considered to be representing the Netherlands. And then the woman on the right, her shield says Great Britain. Obviously, she represents Great Britain. And the angelic figure in the clouds is handing the Freedom Hat to the United States. Um, so, if there's any, it's because it references the United States. It has a Betz numeric representation. It's Betz 602, and again, there's about 6 or 7 of these. Again, instigated by John Adams during his 2 years in the Netherlands, representing the United States. Um,
America has bare feet.
well,
E
the other thing, I'm glad you looked at her feet. Thank you. She's also, if you can look, she's standing on a scepter, but she's also down there. Those are shackles, broken shackles, and that's a theme that repeats. You see it in art. Um, Less known to a lot of people, there are broken chains at the feet of the Statue of Liberty. It's a theme that's repeated throughout, kind of current times. Um, I think one of the interesting things I found is that the Netherlands used the Freedom Hat, as they called it, 200 years before the French or the U.S. They began using it in 1573, tied to the 80 years war. So there's a lot of interesting history on that. I'm going to have to go out of screen share and into another to get to the other item. So this is item I acquired. The thing I just showed you, the Friesland medal I acquired actually last night at an auction. This I acquired a few months ago. This is 1785, and it's recognizing or commemorating the Treaty of Fontainebleau. And this is a treaty between the Dutch and the Holy Roman Empire. And you've got the bird on the left, or the eagle, representing Austria being hectored by these smaller birds. The lily in the middle represents France. And the lion represents the Netherlands. And of course, this is called the Belgic lion, but it was used probably beginning around 1600 to represent the Netherlands during the 80s-year war with Spain. But you can see the, quote, the Liberty Cap, or what they call the Freedom Cap here on the right. I mean, it looks more like a fedora. And again, throughout their art, throughout their engravings, it is always portrayed this way. And it's an interesting story how it came about and why they use that, unlike any other country. The other interesting element is in the US, in France, we always see the Liberty Cap atop a staff, maybe a Liberty pole. But because of the 80 Years' War in Holland, it's always atop of a lance. And you can see that this is a lance, it's not a staff. And that again began in the 1600s. The 80-Year War was from 1568 to 1648. Other interesting symbolism here, the lion is holding 7 arrows. That represents the 7 provinces that formed the Netherlands in 1581. And it actually references, I think you've all heard the Aesop's fable about the dying king who called his sons together and asked them to each individually if they could break this bundle of arrows that he had. And of course, none of them could do it. And then the king took the bundle back and broke up the bundle and easily broke the arrows up one by one. And it's this symbolism here is it ties in with the Netherlands national motto, if you will, that if they're united, they'll remain strong. If they separate, they'll be defeated. And the for those of you who don't speak Dutch, the inscription at the bottom says the lily, meaning France, the lily prevented the battle before the sword was bathed in human blood. That'd be a catchy bumper sticker, I think. So anyway, those are 2 recent acquisitions. I'm trying to acquire more because, again, the whole story of how early the Netherlands adopted the freedom hat and what was around it. It also involved Holland's kind of version of the goddess of liberty called the Maiden of Holland or Hollandia. And again, she entered the scene back in 1577, decades, centuries before she made an appearance on some of our own coinage. So anyway, that's my presentation, and I'll get out of screen share now.